What is up, Brah? So it's that time of the year again where we take a look back at the craziest and most insane tricks that were done in 2022, and it's a good one. Let's all be honest, and this year wasn't the most exciting in terms of new operators, but there were still a ton of new tricks and new mechanics that were discovered across new and old maps. So let's get right into it. I do want to quickly let you know that G Fuel is doing their end of the year BOGO from December 28th, which is today, to January 3rd. The BOGO sales that G Fuel does are when you save the most money, so if you need a restock, it is the perfect time. I'll have a list of my favorite flavors with the link down below if you'd like to check it out. Number 10 takes us back to soon after Ozmi came out, when a discovery was made that you could create literal ramps up these certain mechanical boxes that you could find around multiple maps in Siege. The craziest one was definitely the one in blue on Clubhouse, but there was also a good one on Outback if you ever defended downstairs by the mechanic shop. This is definitely one of the more random hiding spots that was in Siege in 2022, and it provided a lot of free kills onto people that did not expect it at all, which is why this was ultimately patched and it is no longer working. Rumor has it that there is still a way to get up here on the one on Clubhouse in blue, but it takes a lot longer. Maybe we'll see more of that in 2023. At number 9 is a Gaming Gamers Clubhouse bar hiding spot, and this one is surprisingly still working. The reason that this one hasn't been patched yet might be the same reason that it's not higher on my list, and it's just that it can be tricky to do. If your ping is too high, you can sometimes rubber band back and fall off, and it's one of those spots that has a little bit of a longer process since you need to balance on certain things like the leg chairs and then run into precise spots. Overall, it's still an insane one that is working, but it's also one that takes a little bit of practice before running it in ranked. At number 8, we have two easy to do hiding spots on the first floor of Villa. This first one does require an Azami barrier to be thrown on the couch in Mudroom, and then you can create a hole in the dresser to crawl into where you are insanely well hidden. Downside to this one is that it's not in a very high traffic area, and defending in the room next door is probably the worst side on the map. The second spot is my current favorite spot in Villa, where you can simply vault onto the washing machine and then turn around and prone on the sink right by the entrance. There are so many times that attackers just drive their drones right past you and they have no clue at all. If you haven't tried this one yet, then definitely give it a go, or if you're attacking here, make sure you check the sink with the drone. Number 7 takes us to the kitchen on Clubhouse, where we currently have the easiest way to ever exist on how to get on top of the cabinets. Over the years, there have been different methods on how to get up here, and I'm pretty sure that this even stems back to when mirror vaulting was a thing, but right now exists the fastest way to get up here solo, and it's probably only a matter of time before this spot disappears yet again. Now, by impacting the left side of the cabinet, you can throw a barrier at the spot you see me do, and as long as the barrier turns into the correct height and shape, you can simply sprint towards it while slightly pushing to the right, and you'll get a vault prompt. After you're up here, you can get rid of some of the evidence by destroying the barrier, and it's still just a great spot overall. And at number 6 is a trick that will work on any map in the entire game, and even though it was discovered a few months ago, I'm still having a lot of success with it. This is a trick that seems like it would be obvious, but when you look at it from the outside, it's actually really difficult to see and tell what the defender is doing. Now, by just simply breaking the side of a window board from the inside and then placing 1 or 2 shots through the glass, it's gonna shatter the glass in a way that blocks the visual of the missing wood plank from the outside. My favorite spot to do this is on the sunrise window and coastline that looks towards the ruins, and then my other favorite spot is to make a window break that's really obvious that look towards police line, and then doing the trick with the shattered glass on just one window. It makes the attackers naturally check the obviously broken ones first, and it just adds to that level of mind games, which is really strong, and for that reason it's at number 6 for me. Up next is a special trick to me because it lets us have a small piece of our missing heart in the purple tarps. It's a trick where you can change your frames to 30 and then sprint towards certain objects to have your toes catch edges that are normal and when you're playing on settings that are higher than 30 frames. There's a couple spots that you can do this, and they're not the most practical, but it did earn my number 5 on this list because it's such a random discovery. And like I said earlier, it lets us get a little bit closer to those purple tarps, even though it's nowhere near as good as the glory days like how it used to be. The number 4 spot belongs to the hanging balls on Emerald Plains, and to be frank, it's a number 4 because of the memes. You're literally hanging on decor that makes zero sense that we figured out how to get up there, and it's still possible, but they did make the vault prompt really difficult to find. While it still works, it's nowhere near as easy to do as it used to be, so I don't ever really go for it in games anymore because of the time that it requires. So it's pretty much in the past already, but in the early days of Emerald Plains, this was the funniest and most random spot to get into, and nobody ever expected it. Like literally, who would? You're on hanging balls. The hanging balls. Number 3 is one of the best trick shots that has ever existed in Siege, and it's done with a single puck that comes out of a fuse cluster charge. YouTube monetization. Do not confuse puck for the F word. Don't demonetize it like you've been going through the Siege community and doing. Anyways, when you're playing on Chalet, if you go onto the balcony, look as high as you can and then place a cluster charge right in the center. One of the pucks is gonna bounce on the left of the railing and then get sent to the floor towards the reinforced garage wall below. The trick here is to either use 2 cluster charges where one opens the floor and then the second one follows through and goes towards the wall, or you can have a friend use a soft breach to open the floor on the outside of the bar door, or you can go do like an upside down rappel on that window and break the floor prior to going on the balcony. Once you do that, you're going to be able to get one of the cluster charges all the way down to destroy any gadgets or kill anyone that's near the wall.
Choice for your lion play. If you haven't tried it before, definitely give it a go. But Mirage, they have now switched camps. They're over on the offensive side as FaZe.
The number 2 spot is going to a Capcan trick that I learned from a Pro League game where FaZe Clan was using the vase inside a geisha to hide the base of the Capcan device. This is definitely one of those gray area tricks, but one of my rules of thumb that I use on a regular basis is that if it's legal in Pro League games, then I tend to full send it in ranked games and my videos too. Kind of reminds me of when the smoke canister poison would go through walls, and you'd see it in a huge percentage of Pro League games and ranked games too. Obviously a very unrealistic mechanic, but with it being a legal move, it's also the number 2 trick in 2022 in my eyes. Now in at the number 1 spot for the best trick of 2022, we have a gaming gamers trick to get into the craziest hiding spot that exists in Siege right now, and it just happens to be on the new Nighthaven Labs map that just came out. The only downside to this trick is that the map is large, so it's not guaranteed to have traffic around you, but that could be said about a lot of other tricks too. I'll have the video where I go over the new season tricks linked down below just in case you want to check it out to see the full tutorial or other recent tricks that work too. But yeah, that's my list of top 10 tricks or my favorites of the year, but more importantly than my favorite tricks of 2022, I want to give a huge thank you to all of you. You guys keep this channel going and have kept it going for over half a decade now. I see comments every once in a while where someone will say something like they used to watch me play Siege before when they were in high school and now they're literally graduated. It's honestly mind-blowing to me and I truly appreciate you. Without you, there's literally no me doing this, and I know Siege has had some really rough seasons recently, but I also know that they legitimately have some really cool stuff planned, which I can't talk about just yet, but I am truly looking forward to 2023 and sharing it all with you guys. I hope you had a great Christmas, and thank you so much for checking out my top 10 tricks video. Let me know down below what your favorite trick of 2022 was, or heck, make your own top 3 in the comments and I'll look forward to reading them. I love you all. I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Peace.